It's been nearly 4 years since Longmire came to its conclusion on Netflix, and it's an ending that still has fans of the modern Western show talking. This is the ending of Longmire Explained. After taking Henry to the casino to illustrate its importance to their tribe, Jacob Nighthorse is accosted by members of the tribe for his shady antics involving profits from the casino. Eventually, he and Henry are forced to leave after gunshots are fired in the crowd. It turns out that this is all a plot by Malachi Strand to kidnap the two men using a mole in Nighthorse's security detail.
Yeah, we got a lot of catching up to do.
Malachi plans to force Nighthorse to relinquish control of the casino over to him. He threatens to kill Henry if Nighthorse doesn't do what he asks, and Nighthorse reluctantly agrees to Malachi's demands. However, Nighthorse had different plans before everything went wrong: to sign control of the casino over to Henry while Nighthorse is in prison. Nighthorse wants a good man in control of the future of their tribe, someone not as tempted by criminal activities as he has been. This development truly illustrates Nighthorse's growth over the course of Longmire. While definitely corrupt and shady in his own regard, Nighthorse has always justified his actions as what's best for his tribe. His willingness to step aside and let someone else take control of such a vast business venture as the casino, especially someone like Henry, who has never agreed with his methods, shows incredible depth of character. Walt is informed by Marilyn, a member of the Crow tribe, that Malachi has been hiding on their reservation. She leads Walt toward Malachi before being fatally shot by one of Malachi's henchmen. Walt is forced to rush Marilyn to the hospital and abandon his quest to take down Malachi for the time being. Eventually, Walt and his deputies find out that Malachi is located at an old sawmill on the Crow Reservation, which also happens to be where Nighthorse and Henry are being held captive. Henry, however, manages to get the upper hand on one of his captives and escape just in time to run into the arriving Walt. They all work together to systematically take down Matthias's men. Malachi then hangs Nighthorse from a chain and forces the cowboy sheriff to choose between chasing him and saving someone he despises. After some deliberation, Walt decides to save Nighthorse. Walt spent 6 seasons accusing Nighthorse of the most heinous crimes. While Nighthorse is not remotely perfect, Walt saving him is a huge moment.
Hey, Walt! Thank you.
Throughout the various action-packed events that take place in Goodbye Is Always Implied, there are also several side plots occurring. The biggest one, arguably, is the blossoming romance between Vic and Walt. The two finally recognize their feelings for each other toward the end of the show. While it's a moving moment and a natural conclusion to their intertwined stories, it does not quite end there. Vic confesses that the two will never be the priority in each other's lives because they are ultimately devoted to someone else. Walt to his deceased wife, and Vic to the unborn child that she lost in Season 5 of Longmire. Vic also confesses her fear of losing Walt. This is a theme that the show has explored since the beginning. Loss and grief may feel like the end, but in reality, one lives on anyway. It's a poignant conclusion to what is arguably one of the big mission statements for the entire show.
I think that's kind of the point of everything.
After the team stops Malachi, Nighthorse's original plan comes to fruition, and Henry takes over running the casino in hopes of steering it in a more honorable direction that will benefit the tribe. Earlier, in Goodbye Is Always Implied, Walt's admission that Henry should take over the casino, despite how Walt may feel about the place, seems to force Henry to think long and hard about the decision.
He wanted me to run the casino.
You should.
What?
Henry has struggled with his place in the tribe since the beginning of the show, and running the casino is probably the place where he can effect the most change for the Cheyenne people. Unlike Nighthorse, Henry won't just assume what's best for everyone, and he also has the respect that Nighthorse ultimately did not have. Throughout Longmire, it's been a big assumption among the characters that Walt refuses to give up being sheriff because he loves the job too much. However, this assumption is turned on its head in Goodbye Is Always Implied, when Walt decides to pay his daughter, Cady, one last visit before the show comes to an end. Walt asks her why she thinks he never gave up being sheriff. And like most characters, she assumes that he loves his job too much. Walt refutes this, however, saying that he's simply been waiting for the right person to replace him, and he's finally found them.
The only person who can replace me is you.
This is an admission that sort of comes out of left field, and Cady does seem confused at first. Walt, however, says she knows more about police methods than he did when he joined the force. Cady ultimately does decide to run for sheriff after Walt retires. It's not really something that feels natural to Cady's character, but it's still easy to believe a story of a daughter following in her father's footsteps. The series comes to its conclusion with Walt retired and happy, possibly searching for the buried treasure that Lucien claimed to have found before his death. It also shows Walt's growth as a character, as he now owns a cell phone, a piece of technology that he never owned before. It's a quiet moment, and the smile on Walt's face illustrates that he is now at peace with his life and the things he has done. Some may argue that it leaves the door open for more Longmire, either with Walt somehow drawn back into another case or told through the perspective of Cady as the new sheriff. In fact, Craig Johnson, author of the Longmire books, has hinted that movies taking place after the show could potentially happen. Even without that continuation, Goodbye Is Always Implied wrapped up Longmire in a way that honors both the characters and the fans of the long-running show. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies and TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.